Howdy, Ranchers. Some of us grew up playing Pokemon, the others Digimon. The rest of us, well, we played Monster Rancher. I have vivid memories of camping out in front of the TV with my 5-foot-long PS2 controller pulled really taut, which resulted in a bunch of accidents, I'm sure you can relate, with my mom reading the game text to me because I was way too young to be able to read the games that I was playing at the time. Good times. Monster Rancher, also known as Monster Farm in Japan, is a cult classic monster raising sim from developer Koei Tecmo, back from before the merger when they were still just Tecmo. There are a total of 15 Monster Rancher games that span across a whole bunch of different consoles, and even an anime that ran for 1 year spanning from 1999 to 2000. The games are all slightly different, but the main premise is pretty much the same across the board. You're a monster breeder, and your main goal is to raise and train your monster and compete in tournaments that help you become the bestest breeder of all time, I guess. The joy here is really in the gameplay. But generally, you want to strategically train your monster to reach the highest rank before they reach the end of their lifespan. The gameplay can definitely be somewhat monotonous, so I feel like this game only really appeals to a very select audience. So if you're here, hello! I have never actually met someone in my real life that has ever even heard of Monster Rancher. Don't get me wrong, I love Pokemon, this is definitely not a comparison, but something I always felt let down about and kind of wanted from those games was being able to feel a connection with my monsters. I don't know about you, but I am oddly attached to everything in my possession. When I was a kid, I used to keep my candy wrappers and not throw them away after I ate the candies because I felt really sad and bad for the wrappers that I enjoyed the candy so much, and then I just discarded the wrappers like it was nothing, like I didn't even enjoy the candy. I thought they would be sad if I threw them away and didn't appreciate them as I did with the candy, so I had a little box where I kept them all. Yeah, I know. So to say the least, being able to actually interact with my monsters in Monster Rancher was a huge appeal for me. Now, the most memorable feature of this game is definitely the monster generation method. When generating your monster in this game, you are prompted to open up the PlayStation disk drive and insert any game, music, or movie CD that you have. Basically, every CD imaginable has a monster attached to unique data that generates when inserted into the system. All these years later, this concept is still amazing to me, but phew, as a kid, this was like technology at its peak. The element of surprise and pure chance was addicting, and I spent hours upon hours in front of my TV just putting all the CDs that we owned into my PlayStation. Unfortunately, with the eventual phasing out of physical media, we lost a lot of cool game mechanics just like this one. If you know me, you know I will never stop being a fan of physical media. The first Monster Rancher game, Monster Rancher 1, was released in 1997 on the PlayStation 1. Selling over 1 million units worldwide, it appealed to those looking for a more thought and strategy-based monster battling game compared to what was currently on the market. I actually never got to play Monster Rancher 1, we only own physicals of 2 and 4, but don't worry, we will be returning to both of those games in the future. In 2021, Koei Tecmo released Monster Rancher 1 and 2 DX that bundled the first two games together and increased their accessibility by making them available on Switch, PC, and mobile. It's claimed to be a remaster, but more honestly speaking, it's kind of just a PC port and a re-release. Nonetheless, I have super fond memories of this series, and I'm gonna give DX a proper try and share the joys and sorrows of raising a monster with you guys. We're greeted on startup with a little movie that attempts to make sense of the world we're being thrown into for us. There are these things called disc stones that hold monsters inside of them all the way back from ancient times, a nondescript ancient time. I'm not sure how that realistically works, but it is a fairly neat concept. A construction or an archaeological crew of some kind are just working when suddenly, oh my god, look, it's real, a disc stone. And thus we can gather that the once super rare disc stones have been found. Okay, we're excited too, but maybe not as much as this guy. The person inside of this nondescript building, for whatever reason, seems kind of annoyed about activating the stone, but begrudgingly agrees to perform the necessary ritual. I love how after seemingly hundreds of years of living with no monsters, we're just instantly equipped to summon them again. And just like that, the construction worker is thrust into fatherhood. The birth of this monster marks the start of a new era of monster raising and battling. Ah, it's so cool how they turned this disc tone into a CD here. This concept was so exciting back in the day. Upon pressing start, we're already being asked to sign our name on suspicious papers with no further explanation. An excellent start. After giving this man our name and signature, he kind of just leaves. I guess he was delivering this letter to us, but he should have mentioned that first before asking for our signature. Clover, congratulations. This is to certify you a monster breeder. Please visit Fimba first week of April. After reading the letter, we head to Fimba and register our ranch and get a trained assistant to help us deal with regulations and keep us in check. We're informed that our assistant is going to be Holly, who, by the way, just completed her training, but she assures us that she knows what she's talking about and then begs us to trust her. Very comforting. I'm still sure she knows more than us, though. Holly's old teacher Teska then stops by, and this prompts her to explain how he's like the best trainer ever and won these 4 major tournaments. So I guess that's going to be our goal too, ultimately. We finished up registration, so let's head to town and get our first monster. Holly said that if we wanted a basic monster, we should go to the market. But do I seem basic to you? I don't think so. Onwards to the shrine it is for us. So normally in the original PlayStation game, this is where you would be prompted to insert a myriad of your own CDs and DVDs, but unfortunately PCs have had their disk drives surgically removed forcibly, so that is no longer an option for the DX release. Kind of a bummer, not gonna lie. But we can still type in song or movie names into the search bar and access a database of unlimited titles. I appreciate that they still kept the bare bones of the system and didn't completely scrap it. Let's hit the random button and see what we get. Still makes it feel kind of fun. No, it's the accursed Aloha monster. And it is not letting me return him. This can't be. Okay, we figured out that little debacle and I looked up a complete song database online and yes, I'm a cheater, sue me. Say hello to Mopsy, everyone. Mopsy is the default name for this monster, as every monster has their own default type name, but I think it's just so cute, so we're gonna keep it. Let's take Mopsy and head back to the ranch now. So for this month, I have decided to feed Mopsy fish. Every month, we have the option between feeding either potatoes, which are the cheapest but most disliked option, fish, the standard option, or meat, which is expensive but loved by monsters. Oh, hello, green dino man. Okay. I guess he left this letter for us, informing us that there is a reduced training fee this month. Thank you, strange little delivery man. We checked out the training facility, but we only have 2,900 gold right now, so it might be best to just hold on to that and just do some work instead. Working actually gives us money. Based on her stats, Mopsy is really lacking in defense and life, but she excels in power, skill, and intelligence in comparison. I guess we should prioritize on improving what Mopsy's already good at and then slowly work on her lower stats. Doing a job increases your monster's skills, but also increases their fatigue level. Working the jobs that only improve 1 skill gives us 100 gold, and then the 2 skill jobs give us 150 gold. Let's do the bill job. Oh my gosh, we can see her working the job. It's pretty cool that we can see our monster working. I like that a lot, actually. It makes it feel a little bit more interactive for a game that has such simple mechanics. Our life went up by only 3 points, power up by 8, and then speed went down by 4. I guess these harder jobs have to sacrifice a stat or they would be too OP. We should be careful with these kind of jobs. And then I just focused on trying out different jobs and building up Mopsy stats for the time being. We didn't succeed every time though. Holly informed us that Mopsy did not do a good job and asked us if we wanted to punish her for it. Of course not. We could never yell at Mopsy, just look at her. In between the training, we also took some pretty good naps. And just like that, we breeze right into June when Holly informs us that there will be an official tournament at the end of the month. Finally, it's going to be Mopsy's time to shine. We've been training for this. After some more training, And resting, we reach week 4 of June and head off to the official Grade E tournament. There's nothing that officially explains this because it's a pretty simple concept, but the scoreboard is set up with all the monsters' names and counts losses with X's and wins with O's. The monster with the most O's obviously wins. Mopsy's first ever battle is against this blue eye thingy, Barura. Not having a solid battle tutorial really got me at first. I have no clue what I'm doing after not playing for so many years. I can't remember what hit percent or will means honestly, so we're just gonna ignore those things for now. Finally, I got the hang of it and landed a couple hits. We started off strong with a KO. Our next battle is against Bune, and he is just the cutest little tiny dude. Look at him, he's just adorable. He's such a little baby. Mopsy gets a little confused with our commands sometimes and just doesn't listen. Holly explained earlier that this is because our loyalty with our monster is still pretty low. The E-Cup is the first tournament, so the monsters are still in their baby life stage. I believe there are 3 life stages, but it's not explicitly told to the player. But I believe that there is baby life stage, adult adolescence, and then elder. I love taking babies and making them fight other babies. This is the best game ever, guys. It's not looking so good. We need to start landing some hits, Mopsy. Oh no, the battle timed out and makes this awful sound in the process. Ugh. But this is not the end of Mopsy. Next we're against Rhaegar and it's time for redemption. Starting off strong, Mopsy got a little bit of damage in and avoided all of the attacks coming her way. We can afford a couple hits, that's alright. Okay, nice block. And another nice block. Yeah, let's go, Mopsy. Rhaegar got the last hit in, but we still did more damage and won the round. We didn't win all 3 rounds, so we came in 2nd place. Bummer. But we still got some good cash to bring home to fund our training efforts. Our fame also went up a little bit. Mopsy tried her best, so of course we're gonna encourage her. This is just the start of Mopsy's reign of power. Before attempting another tournament, we need to prepare. So I spent the next couple of weeks building up Mopsy's stats. Alright, official grade E Cup attempt number 2, here we come. Mopsy's overwhelming prowess scared off Barura and he forfeited the round. I guess all the training we did paid off. The round with Bune started right away and this time I intend to walk away with a KO. We started off with trading some dodges back and forth. There was a little stint of confusion on both ends, but then Mopsy came back and she must have gained some clarity because she started giving some hard hits. This is the most damage we've ever seen out of Mopsy. With barely suffering a scratch, Mopsy got a KO. We got through by the hair on our necks with Rhaegar, but with another KO, bought home the E-Cup. Mopsy, you're such a good girl. Mopsy won this cool trophy, $800, and most importantly, our fame went up. Ooh. Our mailman friend stopped by and delivered a breeder certificate of promotion to R1. Apparently being a master breeder is our goal, but I'm not sure exactly what benefits we get from ranking up. Holly informs us that we've been spoiling Mopsy, but she's just so cute, how can I not? Okay guys, it's time to lock in and get ready for the next rank. I sent Mopsy off to level up her skill stat. The skill stats account for the accuracy, so the higher her skill, the more likely our hits are to land. And God knows we need help with that. Mopsy came home with a new technique from the training, so pretty cool, we can now use Psychic Kick in our battles. After some more training, I think we're finally ready to take our new technique and try our luck at the official Grade D tournament. We kind of bombed our first battle and also our second battle. But the third battle went much better and we ended it strong with a KO. Surely the next one will be fine as well. Okay, we landed our first attack. 9 damage. Respectable. Alright. Good dodge. And then he choked out Mopsy. Left with basically no health, I attempted to reverse the battle, but all of our attempts were basically futile because, respectfully, Mopsy does like 14 damage per hit when she hits. Already kind of bummed out about our losses, Whirl also beat us pretty badly, although not as badly as Garon, and we headed home with our measly prize money. I don't mean to be a sore loser, but we kind of suck right now. I guess we've been a bad parent to Mopsy because all we've done is lead her to failure. I have to be better, not for me, but for Mopsy. So before we can even attempt to challenge Garon again, we'll have to be at least capable of defeating the other monsters. We tend to get KO'd quickly, so we'll head to Alta Vista and train Mopsy's life stat. Mopsy trained for an entire month and got some good experience. She also found us an apple cake. Mopsy is back from training, but it wasn't successful. Why not? What? I guess we'll punish her since Holly said before that we've been too lenient. I feel so bad though. I don't like yelling at my monsters. They're like my little pets. The training took quite a bit of our funds, so Holly let us know that if we don't work, we'll go broke. That's some pretty good life lessons here, guys. Every monster has 6 trainable stats: life, power, defense, skill, speed, and intelligence. Life is just what it sounds like. Power is how hard you hit physically, defense is how hard you take a hit, and skill is accuracy, speed is your ability to dodge, and intelligence is how hard you hit with non-physical moves. Alright, we've trained a whole bunch and we're back and better than ever at the D Cup once again. The first match was a little bit rocky in the beginning, but then we got some lucky fast hits in at the end and still won. Honestly, I got a little nervous at first. Following a similar strategy of just hitting as fast and frequently as possible, Mopsy won the next couple of rounds as well until we finally got to our rematch with Garon. Holly had suggested that we forfeit due to the differences in our monster's power stats, but I just know Mopsy can do it this time. Man, let me tell you, I was so tense for this rematch. We got a couple early hits in for 9 damage, but then he punched us and did like half our health in one hit again. Unfortunately, not gonna lie, it seems we're still a bit outmatched to Garon. I'm sorry, I failed you again, Mopsy. Mopsy can't fight anymore. Better pull it from the tournament. An accident has forced Mopsy to withdraw from all its fights. What? So Garon hospitalized Mopsy for a couple weeks and she came back tired, so let's just give her some rest time. Now it's serious. This is not just revenge, but this is vengeance we're after. Justice for Mopsy. After many attempts, we've come back to face Garon as prepared as we'll ever be. This is it. He may be super strong and, well, actually that's probably all he's got going for him, not gonna lie. But so is Mopsy. Our attacks are landing fairly consistently this time around. I've finally started implementing some strategy. Garon only has attacks in his first 2 slots, so if we can keep him in the 3rd and 4th attack slot, he shouldn't have a chance to hit us, and then we can throw out a bunch of lightnings to wear him down slowly. And even if Mopsy's attacks fail, the more we attack, the more time we burn on the clock, just with the attack animation time. After the longest and most tense minute of my life, the clock timed out and confirmed by 8% we defeated Garon. We can finally advance to the next rank now. It's finally over, right? Yeah, no. We put up a good fight, but in the last round, Whirl beat us by just a sliver. I guess we were just so focused on Garon that we were blindsided from the true enemy. And the cheeky bastard took home the cup again. After attempting the D Cup many more times than I'd like to admit, against all the odds, Mopsy defeated every monster and we moved on to the next rank. It's Mopsy's 2nd birthday today. They just grow so fast, don't they? After Holly sang a very special song for her, we continued on with the rest of our week. I think it'd be good to pick up a new technique for the next tournament, so I'm going to send Mopsy off to do some more training. We worked a lot on her life, skill, and defense stats so that she could hit better, and then when she does get hit, she can tank it a little bit more. And just like that, we're at the official C Cup. And if you weren't expecting it already, we lost like all our battles again. I'm definitely not training our stats correctly or something, so I decided to take a little break in between and finally go on an expedition. This incredibly dapper older gentleman stopped by and introduced himself as Karn, a seasoned explorer. I just love his wintry outfit. I wish they gave Holly some seasonal outfits too. That would have been a really cool touch. Karn goes on to explain that he explores ancient and abandoned sites and requests Mopsy as an escort to keep him safe while exploring for an entire month. Holly warns us that it could be dangerous, but we do have a chance to find some unique items while away. We're essentially burning a month of possible stat training if we do this, but I'd like to explore all the features of the game, so I decided to accompany Karn. And I'm glad we did, because we got to see Holly in her cute winter jacket. After giving us a short history lesson about the area we're exploring, we get to choose directions to send Mopsy in. The top left number represents how many days we have to explore and acts as a limit on how many directionals you can give your monster. Destroying any obstacles in the way, Mopsy and the team shortly made it to the temple center. We sent her in to search for stuff inside, and she shortly came back with some mint leaves. While waiting for Mopsy to re-emerge with more items, disaster struck, and Karn informed us that Mopsy probably got lost. Karn and Holly went to try and find her, but to no avail. After the remaining 11 days passed, we ran out of food and I was forced to leave Mopsy behind all alone. Mint leaves in hand, we returned to the ranch and did all we could do, just wait for Mopsy to return. What would we do if she just never returned? Is it possible for your monster to just get lost and never return? I'm honestly not sure, and I'm not prepared for that. This can't be the end. I'm not ready yet. We still have so much more stuff we need to do. After just sitting there and waiting like a parent whose kid isn't answering their phone, Mopsy returned after a month of searching. She returned completely exhausted, but we could not let her rest because the searching took $100 a month. So we're currently at $0 and will be unable to feed Mopsy anything next month if we don't work. So despite her exhaustion, unfortunately, we had to send Mopsy out to do some hard work. This was an awful experience. I am assuming that expeditions give us a chance to find rare disc stones and get exclusive monsters, but it just doesn't seem worth the risk right now, honestly. We trained for quite a long while until Mopsy's 4th birthday was upon us. Holly sang her beautiful birthday song and then proceeded to let us know that Mopsy should retire soon, but we haven't even gotten past rank C yet. Monster Rancher is definitely the type of game that you just keep learning and growing with every new monster you have and just getting better as you go. We definitely did a lot of wrong stuff in this playthrough. I guess without looking at any guides and just kind of playing as we played, this is what would happen. After failing a lot more times and doing a lot more training, we have returned to once again attempt the C Cup. Mopsy breezed past the first battle, and the second one, and the third and fourth. It's looking pretty good for us. Unfortunately, the 5th and 6th battles did not go as planned, but worry not, Mopsy actually tied with Entau and will commence into an all-or-nothing showdown. This is the moment to use whatever small amount of strategy we've learned throughout this journey. Entau only has 2 moves in the closest slots, so hopefully we can keep him far back enough that he can't hit us and we can fire lightnings at him from the 3rd slot. Okay, 1 lightning. 2 lightning. Nice. 3 lightning. Let's go. 4. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Oof, ouch. How about a kick? And a scratch? Okay, okay, doing good. Let's try and get some quick attacks in to burn the clock. And we did it. I'm so proud. We worked so hard to get here. Thank you, Mopsy. Here is a little pat. After getting home, we received our official certificate for rank 3, and I would literally frame this if I could, dude. Hours upon hours have been spent trying to get us here. You have no idea. In hindsight, I definitely have no clue what I'm doing. I really wanted to go into this blindly and not look up any guides or tutorials and just play as authentically as possible. In this day and age, it is just so easy to just go on Reddit or YouTube and get all the information you need. But I wanted to play like I did as a kid with whatever knowledge I could remember or absorb while playing. And this game does not really explain much. You kind of have to figure it out all yourself. And while some concepts are kind of self-explanatory, like I guess hit and will could be kind of self-explanatory, I just didn't get it and kind of ignored it. A lot of mechanics just reveal themselves to you as you play, but there are a lot of hidden mechanics that you have no idea about unless you really know what you're talking about. You're given some cues while playing to the age of your monster, but there's nowhere for you to go and officially check the official age of your monster, so that's something just left to experience and perception. There's also an entire stress level and fatigue level system that's going on in the background that is not explained anywhere. You can't check it anywhere except Holly telling you that your monster is fatigued or stressed out. And if it hasn't been clear, I have no idea how this system actually works. Oh wow, Mopsy received some fan mail. I guess we're pretty famous now, huh? You're the bomb. I've been down with you since day one. Check you later. Oh man, this is the most how do you do fellow kids thing ever. I just kind of found this hilarious. I think this is honestly the best thing that's happened the entire game. That's so funny. So instead of following the initial plan of improving Mopsy's best stats, I got pretty confused when we lost every tournament over and over again, and I deviated from the initial plan and just started training everything like crazy. Right now, let's just focus on intelligence because lightning is an intelligence-based attack, and that's really our hardest hitter right now. We're probably not prepared, but I thought we could give the B Cup a try and see how we fare, you know, scope out the competition and everything like that. She took some damage, but nothing too crazy, that is, until we got a cannonball of slime to the face for 105 damage. There's just no way our attacks of 9 and 12 damage could level the playing field in 30 seconds, but I tried to just rapid fire some scratches out and do as much damage as possible. I have no idea why, but she just started doing 3 damage per move, and that was going to get us nowhere fast. Trying to avoid a KO, I burned the clock with some quick hits and we lost the round. Suffering a similar fate in the second round, we also lost, but then the third round went slightly better and we got our first win. Not that that really mattered because of course we lost the rest of the rounds. Based on our track record though, I'm sure you were all already expecting that. It's cool, it's fine though. This was just to scope out our opponents and see what we have to work on. I was not expecting to win. That would be a little overzealous of me to expect a win right off the bat. We have plenty of time to improve and come back ready later. In order for Mopsy to become champion, we have a lot to do. Things were going really great, that is, until Mopsy died. Just like that, in the third week of February of the year 1005, peacefully in her sleep, Mopsy suddenly passed away from old age. Teska paid a visit to the farm and asked Holly and I if we'd like help to arrange a funeral for Mopsy. At the funeral, Karn and the training school lady whose name I forgot showed up to pay their respects to Mopsy, and then Holly and I visited her grave before departing back to the ranch. Goodbye, Mopsy. You were the bestest monster ever, and you'll always be remembered in our hearts. I'm sorry I was an awful player and didn't use the time we had together more wisely. I couldn't make you a champion, but mark my words, next time we will succeed. You weren't just my monster, but also my friend. I would like to now hold a moment of silence in Mopsy's honor and remember all we accomplished together. While I would normally hate to end this video on such a sad note, I would like to happily inform you that this will not be the end of Mopsy's journey. I am fully committed to trying out every single Monster Rancher game I can get my hands on. Thank you for joining me as we jumped into Monster Rancher 1 and kind of played with the skill level of an 8-year-old child. We talked about this earlier, but I definitely had a flawed understanding of the game and my strategy was really lacking, and I have a lot of regrets, which is a good thing because next time we're going to be playing Monster Rancher 2, which is basically the same game, but better. And we'll have a chance to right all of our wrongs, or at least try to. As for being a 30-year-old game, I think it stands up really great and I definitely recommend it to anybody who's also a weirdo and enjoys games that are like 10% actually gameplay and then 90% like strategy and planning. There's definitely some weird stuff about this game and a bunch of hidden features that make it less beginner friendly, but if you're okay with making a lot of mistakes and learning from them or looking up guides online, then this is a fine game for you and I definitely recommend trying it out. This is just the start to our Monster Rancher journey. I will see you guys next time.